Be crowned the back-to-school champion parent with a Sagicor Bank unsecured loan.
The time by Sagicor Bank is...
Tonight in CVM News at 7, Hurricane Erin strengthens as region braces for its impact. It's settled nationally televised political debates will go ahead. Major traffic changes for PNP rally Saturday in Crossroads. JTA issues ultimatum walking out on wage negotiation talks. And in sports, Jamaica mine gold and bronze on opening day of NCAPE Senior Championships. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Friday, August 15, 2025. Thanks so much for joining us. I am Curlin Brown, and we begin with news on the political scene. The Jamaica Debates Commission has announced the dates for the political debates following a meeting with the two major political parties earlier on Friday. The debates, which will be staged at the Creative Production and Training Centre, CPTC, in Kingston, will be on August 23, the 26th and the 28th. The debates will focus on social issues and the economy and will culminate in a leaders' debate between the heads of the JLP and the PNP. Now, the first and second debates will each feature a three-person team. All three debates will last for 90 minutes. What happens when children of politicians step into politics themselves, all while raising children of their own? Well, in part 2 of our CVM News series, Generations in Politics, Amoy Harriet speaks with some politicians about the double duty of parenting and public service.
So he was always all about Jamaica and totally committed and basically campaign on his performance and his plans, which is what I do.
Long-serving member of the Jamaica Labour Party, Darrell Vaz, reflecting on the legacy of his father. The late Douglas Vaz was a prominent JLP member during the Edward Seaga administration in the 1980s. Younger Vaz recalls that his earliest memories of politics came through his father.
So I would have campaigned with him. I was 13 years old at the time. So I'd have campaigned with him between 76 and 80, which is one of the most toughest periods of politics in Jamaica as a result of the state of emergency and, of course, the level of political tribalism and violence that was taking place during that period.
Like Mr. Vaz, there are others in politics who share DNA with current or former politicians, a trend that has long been condemned by critics who argue that public office shouldn't be treated like a family business. Mr. Vaz sees things differently.
A parent who is a lawyer whose child becomes a lawyer, or a doctor whose child becomes a doctor, or an entrepreneur, there's no difference. Politics is a profession, and the fact of the matter is if your parents or a parent is involved and you so get exposed to it and you like it as a career, then as long as you do it for the right reasons, and that is to improve the life of people and to serve your country.
But what happens when children of politicians become politicians themselves and parents? Mr. Vaz explained balancing leadership and life at home. He referenced what he describes as the current vicious nature of representational politics.
And it must have an impact on the generations to come, because certainly for my 5 children, they are, traumatized at what has been done to their mother and myself, who my wife joined in 2019, so it's 2 of us. And of course, they can't wait for the day that we come out and they get back their parents fully undivided attention.
For Mikhail Phillips, son of former People's National Party leader Dr. Peter Phillips, it's a familiar story.
As a parent now, myself, it has not been easy on my own children. Having their father in politics. I have 2 daughters, and I've been in politics from they were 4 and 2 years old. Yeah, so it has not been easy for me, and I know it hasn't been easy on my own children.
But he notes it's these children who drive his passion for public service.
Especially when you become a parent, you recognize how much it is that you want a country that doesn't only represent you and your family and that safe space for yourself and your family, but there's a bigger family out there, which is the Jamaican population. And, we could selfishly do things that is just to the benefit of us. But if you do that, then what happened to the rest of the country? And I guess I was able to learn that because of the role my father has played in the development of the country.
Amoy Harrod reporting for CVM News.
It was a political theatre in full colours as the PNP took its Western St Thomas tour to the people, with candidates and party leaders firing a series of sharp critiques at the government. Raymond Morrison has that story.
The campaign trail in St. Thomas Western turned into a war of words, with PNP caretaker and former mayor of Montego Bay, Hubert Ryan Williams, pulling no punches.
There's no way Lion Andrew can beat for a good leader. Megalites, I know we have a water problem, don't ya? But you no worry yourself. Pretty soon the water problem I go fix. Me I telling you, 6 months after me turn member of parliament, if you no leave you no pipe on and left you no house, when you no come back, you no house I go flood out.
And the blows kept coming.
The next PNP administration will pass the people's test with a A+. Because we understand the people reality. We understand the bread and butter issue. We understand that $16,000 can't buy grocery for your household. We understand the Pitney African school. Because what I see this administration doing is just a heat of food. But we understand a time for the people of Jamaica eat for their food.
Even the school bus program wasn't spared, dismissing the vehicles as old and unfit for purpose.
We don't want no school bus. We advance on tire. We are blow out as the liquor patrol.
Party President Mark Golden then picked up the mic, using the platform to clap back at the GLP Communication Task Force, which claimed the PNP's manifesto was written by ChatGPT.
Them a try say it's generated by AI and all kind of foolishness. I can tell you the process by which our manifesto was developed. We had a series of retreats of the shadow cabinet over the last 2 years. Each member of the shadow cabinet was a portfolio responsibility, was required to make a presentation. And they did. We recorded all of those things in a matrix. And then we chose the things that we thought were workable and made sense and would have the biggest positive impact for the people of Jamaica. And the other things were parked.
He also addressed the recent online buzz over his outfit at the 63rd Independence Grand Gala, where critics said his attire resembled the uniform of a local security company. And, in what one would see as quintessential comrade style, Golden flipped the script, promising policy that could win security personnel to the PNP side.
Big up all security guard in Jamaica. And in fact, in our manifesto, we're going to remove the overtime pay tax from security guards as well as all public sector workers. So security guards, you have a reason to vote for the People's National Party.
St. Thomas Western is currently represented by the JLP's James Robertson, who is seeking a 6th term. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
And the Kingston and St Andrew Municipal Corporation, the KSAMC, is promising to breathe new life into the Duhaney Park recreational ground, a space the mayor himself labelled a white elephant. Residents also had their say this week as the CSEC unveiled plans to transform the grounds into a safe, modern and community-centered hub. Here again is Raymond Morrison.
From underused land to a vibrant recreation spot, that's the vision for the Duhaney Park recreational ground. Mayor Andre Swaby says it's time to turn the white elephant into a facility that the community can be proud of.
This is a white elephant, and I don't want to continue to preside over this white elephant. I don't want to. What I want to do, and we have started to do it now, is have consultation with you to see what we can all agree upon, how we can repurpose this park. That's all I want. And after we have repurposed it then now, we have to work together to maintain it.
The mayor also signaled a push for sustainable energy, declaring he'd rather see solar lights illuminate the park than rely on the Jamaica Public Service JPS grid.
Lighting. I don't want to have to talk to JPS. I want some solar lights here that we can easily, the place is well lit, because you want to make sure security for your kids and for yourself.
And with lighting comes the promise of safety, a top priority for the KSEC. Mayor Swaby says security will be built into the development plan to ensure the grounds are welcoming for families, sports enthusiasts, and children alike.
The issue of security is expensive. So I like the idea of camera, and probably what we can do, we can say to the police, let us put the database, they see it in their office too, what is taking place. The same Jamaica Eye and things about we can connect it up to Jamaica Eye, but we have to ask them if something that they're interested. So the police would have one, because to pay a security guard, it's expensive too. And some of these things have to be community who have to provide some of the security too.
According to the residents, they're looking forward to see the long-neglected space transformed into a community gem, one that not only provides recreation, but also builds connections among neighbors. The KSEC says the next steps include finalizing the design based on public feedback and sourcing funding for the project. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
CVM News at 7 will continue right after this.
Let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation, moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public, while on the road to republic. Let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic. Buck it together, come on, buck it together. Buck it together, buck it together. We a buck it together when everybody out. Fried chicken, we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online. Buck it together to the new dance craze. Taste explosion bursting with flex. When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Buck it together, come make we buck it together. Buck it together, buck it together.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Thanks for staying with us. The National Water Commission, in partnership with the Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, is working to improve and upgrade the water supply across St. Ann. The initiative is set to benefit locals whose water supply has been inconsistent over the years. Kevin Black reports.
But ladies and gentlemen, these projects are real, they're tangible. Water coming out of people's pipes for the first time ever in many cases.
Breadfruit Hill in St. Ann is set to receive consistent water supply after years of ongoing issues. This is expected to benefit approximately 700 households, with a reach spanning over 3,500 people. The work involves installation of new pumps and motors at the Walkerswood Wells area. Minister Samuda outlines that following this, further improvement works on distribution lines in surrounding areas will take effect. Minister Samuda says this move is meant to support domestic and commercial activities in the area.
We have already done stop one at the Walkerswood, well, in proximity of the Walkerswood well site, where we'll be expanding distribution between Walkerswood, Colgate, Breadnut Hill, where we are situated, Great Pond, Dunsville, and indeed Warwick Mount. It is one of our 6 roads which are being done in this constituency at a cost of $320 million.
Minister Samuda's store also intends to provide an improved supply for existing customers in St. Ansby, Seville, Prairie, and surrounding areas. He says this forms part of the overall Runaway Bay to Mommy Bay pipeline system.
The problem we had for a long time was that the base of growth was very weak. You didn't have adequate roads. You didn't have adequate access to potable water. Certainly didn't even think about sewage in the way that you needed to. We didn't have data access. We didn't have appropriate electricity capacity in the areas. And we completed phase 1 already. So for those who used to lay pipes down ahead of an election and take them back up after, we encourage them to go drive to that project and look at the tractor working, Mr. Williams, and see the hard-working men and women of the Water Commission laying those pipes, because those pipes are real and the water that will flow through them is indeed.
He also visited the Davistown area, unveiling a 10,000-gallon water tank, which is intended to greatly benefit locals.
Yes. So this project's scope is very simple. A 10,000-gallon tank and 1.5 kilometers of pipeline. This project will ensure that we're able to pump water to the highest point of the community during low peak hours, meaning when it is cheaper to pump, and allow us to gravity feed water to the over 250 residents who have suffered without the commodity, who have waited, as we said, way too long.
Minister Samuda is adamant the water needs of St. Ann will be thoroughly addressed through his many initiatives. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
The negotiation team for the Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, flatly rejected the government's wage offer and walked out of a meeting with officials from the Ministry of Finance led by Minister Favour Williams. The JTA is demanding an improved salary offer and has issued an ultimatum. Here's more from Carla Ramdeen.
Expecting that there would have been an improved offer. This was against the background or the backdrop that in the last meeting that we had, in which we rejected the initial offer by the government outrightly, we were promised that there would have been an improved offer. That was not forthcoming today. We pressed the minister to improve on the offer of 0% in year 1, 2.5% in year 2, 2.5% in year 3, and 2.5% in year 4. We asked the minister to improve on the offer because we believe that 0% was really not an offer. The minister, unfortunately, would not improve on the offer. We were bitterly disappointed, and as such, we walked out of that meeting.
It's celebration time in Jamaica's education sector. The CSEC and CAPE results are in, and the Ministry of Education says there's good reason to beam with pride. Pass rates in key subjects have climbed, and schools under a targeted improvement program are showing remarkable gains. Our reporter is Akeem Oret.
The numbers are in, and they are putting smiles on faces across the island. This year, 44% of public school students passed mathematics and a whopping 85% passed English in the Caribbean Secondary Examination Council CSEC exams. Even more encouraging, 47 of the 56 schools in the National School Learning Improvement Program and SLIP recorded better results in both subjects, a sign the ministry says that though more work needs to be done, hard work is paying off.
We still have more work to do, but you see that our schools are making the effort. Our teachers are working hard. Our principals are working hard. They're working with us. We can't at the ministry just say, oh, we're going to do these interventions and they just happen. The school has to be receptive. The school has to do a lot of work to create the environment for the interventions to work. And they did.
For students like Nicardo Clark, the celebrations are personal. Months of early mornings, late nights, and relentless study sessions finally bore fruit.
3 months into the exam, like when exams were coming up, then I actually started buckling down. And then after exams happened, then I actually sat down, I went through the entire syllabus. I went on Google Meets with my friends. I did past papers, studied, the regular stuff. Throughout the year, I've been studying that.
Parents, too, are joining the chorus of joy. Christopher Murdoch says his daughter's journey to success began years ago.
In 9th grade, her first attempt, so she did one subject just to see how she would manage it, and she did bio, and she was successful with a grade 1. So, we feel good about that. I don't think she's much of a studier. She tends to have a photographic memory, so it's just for her to read and retain, and that's what she did.
And while the spotlight is on those celebrating passes, the ministry is reminding students who fell short that one exam does not define their future.
And so I don't want you to be discouraged if you don't see the results that you wanted. We are here to help you. We're going to work with you. We want to see you successful. And that's our goal. That's our goal here in the Ministry of Education.
With national results trending upward, the ministry says the goal now is to keep the momentum going, building on literacy and numeracy gains, and ensuring every Jamaican child gets the chance to shine. I am Akeem Art, reporting for CVM News.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We a bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we a pre-bucket for the crew. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Spicy original when we online.
Bucket together to the new dance craze. Space explosion bursting with flame.
When we a bucket together, it put you in a good mood. Every moment you share is finger licking good. Bucket together, come make we bucket together. Hey, bucket together, bucket together.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Join us next week when we conclude our discussion on the role the GTRC continues to play in building resilience in the global tourism sector.
Welcome back. Now, just over 2 years after the groundbreaking, the first phase of the multi-million-dollar Vista Montego Bay project is complete, and developers have already turned the sod for phase 2. The US $100 million luxury resort-style residential development is promising to elevate the city's status as a global tourism and investment destination. Raymond Morrison has that story.
This is the new Jamaica. This is the new tourism that is going to drive another element of value added to enable jobs at another level.
Phase 1 of the Vista Montego Bay project has officially wrapped, and every unit has been sold. The development, a joint venture between C&H Property Development Company and Money Masters Real Estate and Infrastructure Investment Limited, is a $100 million mixed-use resort-style community that will provide some 300 jobs for Jamaicans.
But I want you to see it as part of the renaissance of tourism in Montego Bay. Because when we see this and we look at Pinnacle and we look at what I broke ground for on Monday and we look at what is happening beside that one with the Hard Rock that is coming, and we look at the many other things that are shaping Montego Bay, we are seeing how Montego Bay is pivoting now to luxury. Because Montego Bay is going to become the luxury center of the English-speaking Caribbean.
Phase 1 features 30 units, from elegant 1- and 2-bedroom suites to spacious lofts and penthouses, designed with modern Caribbean charm.
This is what we mean by premiumization. And it's a nice new word that we are inserting in the tourism lexicon. Premiumization. I don't hear it anywhere else. And that's how Jamaica, that's how we're pivoting to premiumization. And let me tell you what that is. It's to create tourism products so distinctive, so high in quality, that the world is willing to pay more because they deliver rare, world-class experiences rooted in Jamaican excellence.
With phase 1 already underway, developers say competition for units is heating up. The next stages of the project, phases 2, 3, and 4, will introduce studios, additional suites, and approximately 10,000 square feet of commercial space in each tower, further blending resort-style living with business opportunity.
The world pays attention to you as a destination. Every additional thing that you do becomes premium, and it brings attention to the world, and you have greater value as a result. But I want to just remind you that it is a rare delight to see a government in the closing stages of its cycle attracting the kind of investment, premium investment, high-end investment that this government is doing.
The developers, through the Vista Montego Bay Resort Development Limited, a special purpose vehicle, say the project is more than bricks and mortar. It's a symbol of confidence in Jamaica's future as a world-class luxury destination. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
Now, here's a system we're watching. Erin, the first Atlantic hurricane of the year, strengthened to a Category 1 storm on Friday. According to the National Hurricane Center, Erin is expected to pass north of Puerto Rico this weekend. Warnings have been issued for the northern Leeward Islands in the Caribbean Sea as Erin will strengthen to become a hurricane by Sunday morning. Now, eastern parishes in Jamaica have been experiencing rainfall since this afternoon. We're now joined by meteorologist Javoy Sawyers. Good evening to you, Mr. Sawyers.
Hi, good evening.
Great. What can you tell us as it pertains to Erin at this moment?
Well, Hurricane Erin is still a Category 1 hurricane and expected not to be a threat to the Caribbean per se, but to remain north of the Caribbean basin and just pass between the eastern seaboard of the USA and Bermuda.
No, I don't know if you were aware, but there's a big political meeting set for tomorrow in Crossroads, for example, and no persons will be eager to find out what's the projection like for rainfall in the corporate area?
Well, there is a tropical wave just east of the island expected to move across the country throughout tomorrow morning. Coupled with that is an upper level trough that will enhance activity with this wave. So we can expect afternoon showers, especially over southern and southeastern parishes late tomorrow afternoon, probably continue again on Sunday afternoon.
Well, we'll definitely stay in touch with you because we want to know what will be happening with Erin throughout this week. Thank you so much, Mr. Sawyers.
You're welcome.
Great. CVM News at 7 continues right after this.
Years of finger-licking good memories, yeah.
The time by KFC is
7:30. Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights
Welcome back. CVM TV has been asking our viewers across our digital platforms, who do you think would make a better Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade? Across all platforms, Government Senator and current Portfolio Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith emerged as the overwhelming favourite over Opposition Shadow Minister Dr. Angela Brown-Burke. On Facebook, Johnson-Smith secured 65%, while Dr. Brown-Burke received 35%. On Instagram, Johnson-Smith stretched her lead with 76% to Dr. Brown-Burke's 24%. On X, formerly Twitter, Johnson-Smith dominated with 87% compared to Dr. Brown-Burke's 13%. On YouTube, the current minister again came out on top, polling 73% against Dr. Brown-Burke's 27%. Now, when the numbers were tallied, the overall result showed Johnson-Smith with 75% and Dr. Brown-Burke with 25%. We can now go to our regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. 20 participants from the Caribbean, 18 Trinbagonians and 2 Grenadians are currently in Japan serving as cultural ambassadors and English language educators through the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. More from TTT News.
Formally, I think this is an excellent program where our Caribbean people, Trinidad and Grenada in this instance, get exposed to Japanese culture. Now it's a good fusion. The Japanese are very disciplined, serious people. We are very, creative, relaxed people. They are creative also. So I think this makes both sides benefit from it, when you have this exposure to different cultures.
29-year-old Kadisha Edwards, who has a passion for language learning and a keen interest in Japanese culture, shared her expectations for the program.
I'm a big community person, and so
I hope that in exchange for leaving this one behind, I'll be able to integrate with one there in Japan. I'd love to just make new friends, explore Japan, bring a lot of my Caribbean brightness to Japan as well. I have a lot of personal language goals as well. I want to get better at Japanese so I can better communicate with people. And I think for me personally, my goals revolve around community and making sure that I'm a good integral part of whatever community I end up in Japan.
And in international news, as Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin posed for the cameras after coming face-to-face in Alaska, reporters were shouting questions at the leaders, and one even asked Putin if he will, quote, stop killing civilians. Sky News tells us more.
So neither president answering those questions. A frown from President Putin when asked if he would refrain from killing civilians in Ukraine, and various other shouted questions, but as we saw there, neither president willing to talk. And Martha, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that was just a very brief appearance with the two men. And I wonder, we were just been talking about it just now, I wonder how that was, organised and agreed upon, Yeah,
and like you've been saying, Mark, it must have taken all the self-restraint that Donald Trump could possibly muster not to engage with those questions. Some of the questions shouted at the two presidents included, Mr. Putin, will you agree to a ceasefire? Will you commit to not killing any more civilians? And after that question about killing civilians, Vladimir Putin appeared to answer by putting his hands around his mouth to make himself heard. And at that point he said, let's go, and the press were ushered out of the room.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Kevin Black.
We'll continue the sports right after this. It's with Ronaldo Adams.
Join us next week when we conclude our discussion on the role the GTRC continues to play in building resilience in the global tourism sector.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.